Recitation. Da, din, da, din, da, da, din, da, din, da. Kavita. Ja, mu, da, ke, da, da.
Hare Krishna. So we'll chant the Jai Radha Madhava prayers. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram. Jayo Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai. Jayo Srinivas Govinda, Jayo Srinivas Govinda, Jayo Srinivas Govinda, Jayo Srinivas Govinda. Jayo Prahlad Narsimha, Jayo Prahlad Narsimha, Jayo Prahlad Narsimha, Jayo Prahlad Narsimha. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki, Shri Srinivas Govinda ki, Shri Prahlad Narsimhadev ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So before we start, please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll be reading from 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 9. So it's displayed on the screen, so please repeat after me. Janma karma chame divyam. Janma karma chame divyam. Evam yo vitti tattvataha. Evam yo vitti tattvataha. Tyaktva deham punarjanma. Tyaktva deham punarjanma. Naiti mameti sarjuna. Naiti mameti sarjuna. Janma karma chame divyam. Evam yo vitti tattvataha. Tyaktva deham punarjanma. Naiti mameti sarjuna. I'll read the synonyms, you can repeat after me. Janma, birth. Karma, work. Cha, also. Me, of mind. Divyam, transcendental. Evam, like this. Yaha, anyone who. Vitti, knows. Tattvataha, in reality. Tyaktva, leaving aside. Deham, this body. Punaha, again. Janma, birth. Na, never. Eti, does attain. Mam, unto me. Eti, does attain. Saha, he. Arjuna, O Arjuna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So please repeat the translation. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take this birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Purport. The Lord's descent from his transcendental abode is already explained in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from material bondage, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this present material body. Such liberation of the living entity from material bondage is not at all easy. The impersonalists and the yogis attain liberation only after much trouble and many births. Even then, the liberation they achieve, merging into the impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord, is only partial, and there is the risk of returning again to this material world. But the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending this body and does not run the risk of returning again to this material world. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Lord has many forms and incarnations. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still one and the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction, although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empiric philosophers. As stated in the Vedas, Eko Devo Nitya Leelanukrakto Bhakta Vyapi Hridi Antaratma. The one Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many transcendental forms in relationship with his unalloyed devotees. This Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of the Gita personally by the Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculations, attains the highest perfectional stage of liberation. Simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can without a doubt attain liberation. The Vedic version Tattvamasi is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the Supreme, or who says unto the Lord, "You are the same Supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead," is certainly liberated instantly. And consequently, his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. In other words, such a faithful devotee of the Lord attains perfection, and this is confirmed by the following Vedic assertion. Tameva viditvat mrityeti nanyaha panta vidyate ananyaya. One can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no alternative, because anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is surely in the mode of ignorance. Consequently, he will not attain salvation. Simply, so to speak, by licking the outer surface of the bottle of honey, or by interpreting the Bhagavad Gita according to mundane scholarship. Such empiric philosophers may assume very important roles in the material world, but they are not necessarily eligible for liberation. Such puffed up mundane scholars have to wait for the causeless mercy of the devotee of the Lord. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain the perfection. Thus ends the purport. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilatanyena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are discussing here 4th chapter, text 9. This 4th chapter is titled as Transcendental Knowledge. And here in text 9, Krishna is revealing something, a very important verse actually. It is an easy way to attain liberation. What is the easy way? Krishna is saying, Janma karma. Janma means appearance. Right? Generally there is birth. Janma we all know is birth. Janma and karma. Karma means activities. Janma karma chame of mind, Krishna is saying, divyam. Divyam means transcendental, divine. Right? These are not like the normal birth and activities. So Krishna is saying, one who knows my divine appearance and my divine activities, evam yo vetti tattvataha. Vetti tattvataha means, vetti means to know, tattvataha means in reality, in complete, absolute truth. One who knows this. So what happens? Krishna is saying, Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo vetti tattvataha. One who knows this absolutely. Tyaktva deham. Tyaktva means to give up. Give up what? Deham, this body. Means after giving up the body, Tyaktva deham, punarjanma naiti. There won't be another birth. Punarjanma. Generally we only know about birth. But once you come to the Vedic literature, you come across the word punarjanma, rebirth, reappearing. Again we will take birth. So, the modern scientists, they don't believe in rebirth. But Krishna logically proves that, there is another life. And there have been so many studies and which have not been very much prominently made, publicized. There have been researches done on people of past life experiences, and there are so many articles, so many incidents, but these are all downplayed. The modern scientific society, community, media, they don't want to highlight this because it will shake the foundation of our material civilization, right? If there is another birth, then what was the previous birth? Then what is the next birth? What are we doing? There will be a civil movements questioning the governments. What are you all doing to help us in our next birth, right? Just like, the people are very concerned after retirement, making sure there are enough benefits, the 401k plan, the funds are running out, there will be, right? So the modern civilization, they totally downplay it. They don't want to talk about it. But the Vedic civilization, the word Veda itself means knowledge, true knowledge, absolute knowledge, and transcendental knowledge, beyond something that is perceivable by the senses, right? So Punarjanma, there is rebirth. So Krishna is saying, what happens, one who knows about Krishna, his activities and his birth, Punarjanma naiti, there won't be another birth. Krishna is saying, then what happens? Sometimes it happens in families, elderly people pass away, and then, another child is born in the lineage, grandchild. Sometimes they're very happy, oh, it is my father, my grandfather born again, like that. So there is a concept, Punarjanma, they take birth again, and they're hoping that they're taking birth in their own families. But Krishna here is saying, Punarjanma naiti, there won't be Punarjanma. Then what will happen? Right? If there is no Punarjanma, then what happens to that soul, that Atma? Right? Krishna says, Mameti so Arjuna, he will come to me. So this is the real solution of our material existence. The real problem to solve is Punarjanma. Punarjanma is the problem. Taking birth again. Forget about taking birth again. This birth itself has become a problem for everybody, isn't it? You have to study hard, get good scores. Children, we keep saying, we know we were told the same thing. We know that, we were tricked with our parents, but we have to trick our children also. Study well, study well. High school is important, is a turning point. Same thing we were also told. But we know all turning points, there is no real solution. Today also, all turning points over for most of us. We are working. Suddenly in the news it will come, this company has laid off so many people. Oh, we will start thinking, oh my God, what about my company? What about my job? So all that, good stories of, settle well, all good, is actually, unfortunately, it's not a solution, right? It is problem after problem. Even if your job is secure, everything is secure, are all problems solved? Unfortunately, time, every day, it is said in Bhagavatam, as the sun rises and the sun sets, what is the time doing? It steals one day out of our life. Right? So we are going closer towards the end of the life. And it is not just a happy journey, it is a troublesome journey. We start becoming old, body becomes weak, eyesight becomes weak, muscles become weak, and the insurance company will say, do this, do that. Whatever you do, still it is all deteriorating. So it is a problem. This Janma is a problem. And this Vedic solution, the Vedic knowledge, is giving us a solution to this problem. Srila Prabhupada actually other places explains the root cause of our problem. Right? Sometimes this root cause analysis is done. Most of the people who are aware of the IT, information technology field, any problem happens, especially on the weekend. Unfortunately, big problems happen only on the weekend. When there is a plan, your neighbors are coming or you're going for a long trip, there will be an alert on your pager, on your mobile. Some system is down. Everyone logs in, try to figure out, somehow solve the problem. And then next day morning, if you think my weekend is already ruined, okay, finally it is done, at least I can take rest. Monday morning from manager message will come. Can we please submit RCA, root cause analysis? Now again we have to go back and figure out. So root cause analysis. So the root of the problem, why do we do root cause analysis? So that the problem doesn't happen again, right? Because the problems keep happening, customers keep getting affected, bad news will spread in the news, competitors will take away, and everyone is in trouble. So the root of the problem has to be solved, root cause analysis. So the Vedic knowledge tells that all our problems, right? All our problems in our life is because of this material existence. We have taken birth in this material world. This is the root of all problems. Why? Anandamayo Bhyasat. The nature of the soul is to be Ananda, always happy and blissful. But here in this material world, we are constantly bombarded with Nirananda. Not only Ananda, it is said Satchit Ananda. We are supposed to be eternal. Sat means eternal. We should live forever. But unfortunately, life itself is temporary. And within that also, all arrangements, whatever we do, they also become very temporary. We have to keep struggling. Every month we have to make sure you're making enough money to pay your rents and maintain your sustenance, right? So very temporary nature of our existence. And to elongate it, to maintain it, we struggle. Sat, Chit. Chit means full of knowledge. But here, Achit. We are full of ignorance. What is ignorance? We don't even know how our own mind-body system works. Unless we go to the doctor does an X-ray and shows something, oh, something is gone bad here. We don't know what it is, right? So we are totally ignorant. We don't know how it is working. Prabhupada once he says, our own body, the hair is growing every day, the nails are growing. We don't know how it is growing, how many hair are there on our body, and why it is growing, why there is a problem. We have to go to the doctor. So we are full of ignorance. Beyond that, we just talked about Punarjanma. We don't know what we were in the past lives. What were we doing? What were our family members? What were our assets? Where I was born? What was I? We don't know. And we don't know what our next life is. So this Achit, this ignorance is actually also not a very good condition to be in. And Ananda. This is the place of Nirananda. Right? If I say today class has changed from 1 hour to 3 hours, everyone will start thinking, oh my God, my back will hurt. Or if somehow again I keep dragging on slowly, back will hurt, legs will hurt, knees will hurt, people will start standing, walking, stretching, right? So our situation is like this. We want to be happy, but constantly we are bombarded by unhappiness. First thing in the morning we wake up, are we happy? No. Some kind of perspiration, sweating, overnight sweat, we don't feel very fresh, right? We have to take shower. The moment you take shower, then are you happy? No, you will feel hungry, you have to eat food. The moment you eat food, then there are other things to take care. So constantly one or the other thing. We all want to be freed from, unnecessary responsibilities, but constantly we have to take care of so many things. So where is Ananda? Ananda is in a year, 3 weeks, full-time vacation. If you get to go to Hawaii or somewhere, that is where Ananda is. So you work 330 days or whatever, maybe 30 days you will get vacation. So we are looking for that Ananda. Even today, Sunday, 12:30, still it is okay. By the time it becomes 7:30, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., oh my God, Monday, back to office, back to school, back to work. So where is that Ananda? We are looking for Ananda, but that Ananda is not there. Now, back to so many problems we talked about. And there are further more problems that very commonly highlighted. But there is, we talked about disease, we talked about old age, and then there is death ultimately. Very disappointing, isn't it? The moment you say the word death, it's even considered inauspicious. No, don't talk about it. Why do you want to talk about it? That is the philosophy of the, like the rabbit. If there is something dangerous, what does the rabbit do? Rabbit or a hare. If a prey, what does it do? Just close his eyes. So somebody talks about death, close eyes. No, don't talk death. Push it away. But death is not going away. Just by the rabbit closing the eyes, whatever is coming to attack, it is not going away. They say, oh, inauspicious, don't talk about it. Why? Oh, well, if you don't talk, how do you solve this problem, right? So the root cause of all problems is this punarjanma, or this existence in this material world. And that solution the Vedic knowledge is giving us. See, as humans, we are the only people capable of solving, right? We can come up with solutions. So the modern civilization, everyone is very proud of the current advancement in civilization. Now you can make a WhatsApp call and do a video call without incurring any expenses across the country. You think this is all, right, modern advancement. We solved the problem of communication problem, right? Previously you have to write a letter, there were no airplanes or whatever, only the sea. It would take 1 month for the letter to reach. Even through airmail and all, I remember 1980s, my father went to Germany for 3 months tour. So I used to write a letter. So in 3 months, we probably exchanged just 3 letters. Because I write one letter, it takes 15 days to reach him. And then he would write a letter back. And then another 15 days, it would be 1 month by the time I received the letter. And the last letter, before the letter I read, my dad only came back. Because he took a flight and, it was taking longer. So, but now, what about now children whose parents are traveling across the country, Europe or something? Just one call, video call, FaceTime, see? So, modern civilization can be very proud of itself. Just see in the past 20 years how much advancement. Something that would take 1 month for a communication, now it is just in seconds, right? Very good. But then again, we are working with closed eyes. What about the real problem? Prabhupada is saying, the real problems we have put aside. We are solving other silly, small problems. Okay, I mean, it's not silly. You can still say it is some problem, but why is the root of the problem not being solved? Because this is, the problem is not perceivable by our normal senses. It requires some high level of intelligence. For example, the soul. Is the soul even really existing? We are talking about the soul, the presence of the soul. Krishna says, Tata Dehantara Prapti. Just like, Prabhupada says, a very simple example. You don't need a very big logical explanation. Even a small child can understand. The moment a person dies, right, the dead body is right there, but everyone is crying, oh no, he has left, he has left. Who has left? The body is right there. No, the person has left. That means the person is not the body. The person was in the body and the person has left. Now where did this person go? Right? So that simple logical analysis will prove that the living force, the soul, is different than the body. And this change of body, the constant change of body, is the cause of all problems. So that is the root cause. And the Vedic knowledge is giving that. And that's why, there are these 4 stages, it is mentioned, of human evolution. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Right? Dharma means religious principles, the rights and wrongs and do's and don'ts, and, the code of conduct living in a society. Dharma, Artha means making money, good livelihood and things like that. So you earn some money and, and then what is it by earning money and everything? Kama, to fulfill your desires, right? And then moksha. Yes, this was all a temporary thing. It is just like in a train journey. You have to go to a destination, but you want to make sure your journey is comfortable, right? You make sure you get a good berth and you had made proper arrangement for, lunch, breakfast, dinner. Let's say it's a 1-day journey. And then finally destination, right? Now, if you totally forget about destination, you're only worried about your journey, is it a very intelligent thing to do? Someone asks, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Delhi. And where will you stay in Delhi? Oh, no clue. But today evening, I have booked this dinner. Dinner is coming. No, how long will you be in Delhi? I have no idea. But lunch, I have made good arrangement. Right? Says, what are you going to do there? I have no idea. So they think, oh, I'm dealing with a very dumb, foolish person next to me. Right? He's only talking about his journey. He's just saying, I made arrangement for breakfast, lunch, dinner. But at the end of the journey, what is he going to do? He has no idea. What is even use of undergoing this journey? Right? So our human life is also like that. We are all undergoing a journey, but if we have no clue about the destination, what we are going to do at the point of destination, then it is a foolish journey. And that is why the Vedic literature talks about dharma, artha, kama, moksha, attaining liberation also. But now the modern civilization, we just talked about all the so-called advancements. It's only till dharma, artha, kama. Moksha, they have closed their eyes. Forget it. Only the journey. Till you're alive, we will come up with some kind of mechanisms. It won't solve all problems, but it will make you feel good, a good journey. After that, well, what happens? Nobody knows. But the Vedic literatures reveal that urdhvam gachanti sattvasva. Urdhvam means they go upwards. People who are in the mode of goodness in Sattva-guna, they go upwards to higher planetaries. And then, Jahanna gunavittascha ado gachanti tamasa. The one who have done tamasic, who are in the mode of ignorance, who have committed sinful activities, they will go down to sinful and hellish planets and they will suffer in hell. Now these details are not mentioned, because just like there is the state law here, anyone who is caught doing criminal activities, they'll be punished. So in this law of existence, also in this law of nature, people who have done unrighteous activities, they have cheated, they have told lies, they have committed crimes, they have hurt people, all this, they all have to be also be shown, proper judgment has to be given. So they will all suffer. So this that is why, to avoid this repetition of birth and death, this moksha, this whole concept of moksha, liberation, is mentioned. And that Krishna is giving a simple formula. What is the formula? If you just know, right? Janma karma chame divyam. If you know about me, my activities, which are divine, then you will attain moksha. That means no punarjanma. And what will happen? You will come to me. Now this coming to me, what is this coming to me mean? Krishna in other places actually mentions what this coming to me actually means. So in the 8th chapter, 15th verse, Krishna says, Mamupetya, again similar thing Krishna is saying. Krishna is actually constantly tackling the root of the problem in Bhagavad Gita. Why Bhagavad Gita is so essential? There are so many literature, so many books, they're all talking about all other problems. But this talks about the root of the problem. Here Krishna is again saying similar thing. Mamupetya, if you come to me, punarjanma, again he's saying punarjanma. What is saying? Punarjanma, dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti. You won't have another birth, another death in this material world, which is dukkhalayam, a miserable place, and ashashvatam, which is temporary. So Krishna is saying this. And samsiddhim paramam gataha, you will attain perfection. And what does the perfection mean? You will attain paramam gataha. You will go to the supreme. Paramam, param means the supreme. Gataha means supreme destination. You will achieve the supreme destination. Again, Krishna is saying that you will attain the supreme destination. There won't be rebirth. So what is this supreme destination? Another place Krishna says in the 15th chapter, he reveals little additional about the spiritual world. He says, Natat bhashyate suryo, na shashanko na pavakaha. In this place where I reside, right? Yat gatva na nivartante tad dhamam paramam mama. Now Krishna is saying, what is my dhama? What is my place? I'm saying, one who attains liberation will not have birth again, they will come to me. What is my place? He says, Natat bhashyate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha. There the illumination is not by Surya, the sun, or Shashanka, the moon, or Pavakaha, or fire, or electricity. Yat gatvada nivartante tad dhamam paramamama. He says, one who comes there, they will not come back to this material world, and that is my eternal abode. So Krishna kept saying about this, liberation from this material world, but he in the Bhagavad Gita, he didn't completely provide all the details of the spiritual world. It is like sometimes when there is a fire in the building, they keep saying, oh, run, go this way and then turn left and there is an exit. You go out, that way you can exit from this building fire, right? So when the situation is that people are stuck in a building in fire, the main thing is to help them get out of it. Now, can somebody complain, oh, you're telling me you go right and left, where does that lead to? Is that a park, or is it a street, or is it a building, or is what is there? Doesn't matter, you're stuck in a building which is caught up with fire. First thing is you come out of this place, right? So that's the preliminary instruction. So that's the basic instruction. Krishna is giving the preliminary basic survival instruction. Now what happens after that? After you come out, or you're almost close to the exit, then you can, spend some time thinking about it. But right now you're stuck in the building in a fire. Your immediate responsibility is get out of this building. So Krishna didn't reveal very much detail about that because this is a preliminary instruction. Prabhupada says Bhagavad Gita is a preliminary instruction in spiritual knowledge. It's preliminary. It is sufficient actually for one to come out of this building that is caught of fire, but it's preliminary. Now Bhagavatam, he says, is the graduate study in spiritual understanding. So let's take advantage, because Prabhupada has translated Bhagavatam also. Let's take advantage of Bhagavatam and let's see what the spiritual world is all about. Right? So in the Bhagavatam, there are in third canto, Lord Brahma, when he is talking about this Jaya and Vijaya, right, the four Kumaras, they go to meet Lord Vishnu, and there is a small incident that happens because of which Jaya and Vijaya have been cursed, and they take birth as Ravana and Kumbhakarna or Hiranyakashipu and like this, right? So all that happens. But before that, there is a description of these four sons of Kumaras when they enter the spiritual world, when they enter the Vaikuntha planets. So we are talking about the spiritual world. One will attain liberation, they will go attain mukti. How will the spiritual world be? What is this place, spiritual world, all about? Right? And actually, even in Brahma Samhita, there is one statement At a very high level, it is mentioned what the spiritual world is all about. It's very famous. Every time we do Abhisheka, we chant these mantras. It says, Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu. Chintamani means it's like a touchstone, like a very precious jewel. It's even said this touchstone, if you touch with that to any metal, it will actually become gold. Right? So Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu. So many buildings in the spiritual world made out of the Chintamani gem. Here, what are buildings made of? Concrete, wood, right? And all these things. But there in the spiritual world, they're made of Chintamani, the spiritual gems. Those are the ingredient of construction of this material. Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu. Kalpavruksha Lakshavriteshu. Kalpavruksha. It's talking about vrukshas. We have so many trees here, right? But there the vruksha is Kalpavruksha. Kalpavruksha means it's called as desire tree. Now what is a desire tree? We know so many trees. There is a mango tree, there is a guava tree, there is a banana tree. What is desire tree? That means whatever you desire, you can get it. That is Kalpavruksha. Right? Here if you want to eat mango, you have to wait for that season, right? Or if you want to eat any other fruit, you have to wait for the season. And again, if you have reaped all the fruits, you have to wait the whole year, right? But Kalpavruksha, you go any tree, any fruit you want, it will give you. It is a very, this is a complete different dimension. That's why it's spiritual world. It is transcendental. It is beyond our understanding of this material phenomena, right? So there are Kalpavruksha Lakshavriteshu. There are Laksha means 100,000. Like this Lakshavriteshu, hundreds and thousands of desire trees. So here, orchards, if you like, sometimes we go strawberry picking, you have to go strawberry farms. If you go to cherry picking, you have to go cherry farm. If each are like 50 miles away, you have to drive here and there. But Kalpavruksha, one tree, you can get any fruit, whatever you want. And not just fruit, I have insider information. Even if you say gulab jamun, you will get it, seems. Because it's a desire tree, no? And then it's not limited. So that's what transcendental, there is no limitations. So Kalpavruksha Lakshamriteshu, Surabhi Abhi Palayantam. And then there are cows also. But what are the cows there? There are Surabhi cows. Surabhi cows are also like, like desire trees. They are cows that can give unlimited milk. And they can also, like, there are cows like Kamadhenu. Whatever you ask, you can get, all your desires fulfilled. So they are very transcendental, very divine. It seems very mystical and magical, but it is revealed in the Vedic scriptures. So like that, there is something. And here I will read from this Bhagavatam where Lord Brahma is saying, the Kumaras, when they entered the spiritual world, what did they observe, right? So now we are looking into the graduate study, getting more details about the spiritual world. So here I will read few verses where Brahma is saying the journey of the four Kumaras. So he says, after thus traveling all over the universes, they also entered into the spiritual sky. So this is the spiritual world we are talking about, right? Beyond the material world. And the spiritual sky means, again, the basic is Satchit Ananda. There everything is eternal, everything is full of knowledge and full of bliss. So no, miseries of birth, death, old age, disease, and all these things are not there. So once they entered, so they entered the spiritual sky, for they were freed from all material contamination. In the spiritual sky, right, they entered the sky, there are spiritual planets known as Vaikuntha Lokas. So there are multiple planets, just like there are so many planets here, the solar system and galaxies, and every day, there is always one news article, some new galaxy is found, new black hole is found, like that, right? So it is said the material world is only 1/4 of the total creation. 3/4 of the creation is the spiritual world. So imagine how many more planets will be there, and they're all known as Vaikunthas. And those planets, something special, they're all residents of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His pure devotees. So there, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord, and His devotees reside. So every planet, there is an incarnation of the Lord. So there are details are mentioned. Every planet, there is one Lord. Like it is said, there is a planet for Lord Rama. All the devotees of Lord Rama go there. There's a planet for Lord Krishna. All devotees of Lord Krishna go there. Like this, there are different planets. And the pure devotees are there, and they're all worshipped by everyone in the material world. So people who know about this, they actually worship those places because this is the residence of the Lord. Now, in the Vaikuntha planets, all the residents are similar in form to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is a very interesting feature. So, all the residents are very similar in form. That means they have a spiritual body, just like Krishna has spiritual body. Krishna does not have a material body. You will never see Krishna, taking medicines or tablets or undergoing some surgery or something like that. Krishna is a spiritual body. There is no material anything in it, right? So, there everyone have spiritual bodies. And then they all engage in devotional service to the Lord without desires for sense gratification. So this is the main difference. Why are they there? Why are we here? There, they are all engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. It is a single point of interest. That is why there is no conflict. There are no wars. There are no regions. There are no countries. There are no visas. There are no, requirements to be met. everyone is on the same page, like they say, right? Everyone is in their pure love with the relationship with the God, and everyone wants to serve God. And that is what we are trying to do here. The temples, Prabhupada said, these are all like, for apprenticeship. This is all for us to train ourselves to become eligible to go to Vaikuntha. We all together serve Krishna, right? Sometimes a big festival comes, Janmashtami. Everyone is doing different kinds of things, but the essence is the same. Everyone wants to serve Krishna, please Krishna on his birthday, on his appearance day, and cultivate that love and devotion and express that love and devotion for the Lord, right? But this is how it is in the spiritual world. And then it is further said, in those Vaikuntha planets, there are many forests which are very auspicious. Okay? A lot of forests, it is said, very greenery. In these forests, the trees are desire trees. We talked about desire trees, the Kalparuksha. Right? And in all seasons, they are filled with flowers and fruits. All seasons, they are having flowers and fruits. Not that here only spring we get to see flowers, only some other season we get to see fruits. It's not like that. All seasons, there are flowers and fruits. Right? Because everything in Vaikuntha planets is spiritual and personal. Right? So personal, why? You ask whatever fruit you want, you will get it. And then the next is a little revealing. See, this Bhagavatam was put into writing 5,000 years ago. It was existing for millions of years. Here it is said, in the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants fly in their airplanes. See, the inhabitants of Vaikuntha planets, they all have airplanes. Now here, if you want to get one car, you have to work hard, pay, earn a lot of money, pay, and all the things. But here in Vaikuntha, they're already having airplanes. They're all the residents. See, it is no less standard. It's a spiritual world, imagine. Our standards, very crude way of understanding. We have, many of us were in India before we came here. The standards of living were less. Here it is high. That gave us an impetus to come here and things like that, right? So now imagine the standards in the spiritual world. Everyone is flying their own airplanes. Like in India, they used to think everyone has a car. And this is something I remember. Oh, everybody has a car there. Everyone has car. Where cycle and all that there, right? So it's a very high standard. Now here, see, which is a better standard? Everyone has an airplane. Here now, if you have a Tesla, it is a good status symbol. Yeah, good. But here, everyone has airplanes. So this is what it is saying. And they're accompanied by their wives and consorts. Prabhupada once said in Vaikuntha airplanes, because these Kumaras, they saw all these airplanes, right? Prabhupada said, if one airplane goes, so much noise it makes. Spiritual world, it is not like that. Those airplanes don't make so much noise. Right? This is very, soothing place. And they are accompanied by their wives and consorts, and eternally sing the character and activities of the Lord, which are always devoid of all inauspicious qualities. While singing the glories of the Lord, they deride even the presence of the blossoming Madhavi flowers, which are fragrant and laden with honey. Again, this is the difference. In spiritual world, what are they all doing? Now, if you go here, everyone is driving their own car. Somebody is listening Bollywood, somebody is listening Hollywood, somebody is listening jazz, right? Different music going on. But here in all airplanes, there's a common music going on. They're all chanting the glories of the Lord. Just like we also, temple, we conduct so many activities. We go on picnics, we go on different things. Everywhere we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Once, one of my relatives asked, everywhere you chant Hare Krishna? Only Hare Krishna? So sometimes we do 12-hour kirtan. Only Hare Krishna you chant? They ask. Yes, but you come and participate sometimes. There are so many tunes of Hare Krishna, you will never feel bored of chanting Hare Krishna. Even today, when other times of darshan, we play Prabhupada's kirtan, which was recorded like 50 years ago. Still, it is very blissful. People ask, oh, who sang this? And it always, it doesn't seem boring. Prabhupada says that is a proof that the spiritual vibration and the material vibration, the same song even composed by A.R. Rahman, you hear again and again, you will get bored at one point of time. But Hare Krishna mantra, you won't get bored. Right? So that is the proof. In spiritual world, they're all singing the glories of the Lord, and they're all chanting. And then it is said, when the king of the bees hums in high pitch, singing the glories of the Lord. See, the bees are also singing the glories of the Lord. See, the spiritual world is very different. Here, bees humming means sometimes it's like a disturbance. When the bees are singing the glories of the Lord, there is a temporary lull in the noise of the pigeon, the cuckoo, the crane, the chandarvika, the swan, the parrot, and the peacock. So they all become quiet. Why? Because they are listening. Such transcendental birds stop their own singing simply to hear the glories of the Lord. It's a very different experience over there. Everyone is glorifying and everyone is very immersed. They want to hear the glories of the Lord. So like that it further goes on. And there is another mention of the airplanes again. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of, fill in the blanks. Here, what are airplanes made of? Metal, plastic, fabric, gasoline, all these things. But what are they made in the spiritual world? It is said they're made of lapis lazuli. I never heard this before. So I looked it up in dictionary. It is supposed to be a blue emerald kind of a thing. It's a very precious stone. Lapis lazuli, emerald and gold. Now this is how those airplanes are. Right? Here if an airplane is made of gold, next day morning it won't be there. Overnight and there will be a big thing that will happen. And then, although they are crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. So here there is a description that everyone is so beautiful. The ladies in the Vaikuntha planets are as beautiful as the goddess of fortune herself. Such transcendently beautiful ladies, their hands playing with lotuses and the legs bangles tinkling, are sometimes seen sweeping the marble walls, which are bedecked at intervals with golden borders, in order to receive the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we do Mandir Marjana. You all know that, right? After the Sunday feast program is over, all the devotees, we go different places, we clean all the places. So there also they are doing this Mandir Marjana. All these beautiful ladies, they are holding lotus and everything, and sometimes they are seen. What are they doing? The palaces of the Supreme Lord, where the Lord resides, they are sweeping the marble walls, which are bedecked with at intervals with golden borders. Right? This is a spiritual world, the buildings, the description is given. So completely opulent. And in order to receive the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So it is generally said when we do service, Prabhupada says, see, sometimes we do service and other people are observing, we feel good. Some kind of visibility is there. If nobody is there, you're doing sometimes devotees. Not everyone. They feel little bored, lonely. What is this I'm doing? So Prabhupada says, don't do service so that others will see you. Do service so that God sees you. Right? That should be your motivation. God is everywhere there, and when you do service, God is seeing you. That is your real win. Because if others sees you, you will get some adoration, some glory, some good name. How long is it going to last? Right? You just add 50 years to today, pretty much everybody here is gone. What is this use of this temporary adoration? Right? So like this is some description of the spiritual world, and Lord Brahma is now saying, it is very much regrettable. He's saying it's very much regrettable that unfortunate people do not discuss the description of the Vaikuntha planets, but engage in topics which are unworthy to hear and which bewilder one's intelligence. So see, Lord Brahma has literally mentioned our today's situation. It's so unfortunate. Not many people even talk about the description of Vaikuntha, but we are talking about unworthy topics. So many unworthy things, politics, economics, this, that, so many things going on. We only talk about so many gossiping people, countries, nations, families. Not really worthy topics. Everything is gone, isn't it? It's all like a dream. Everything is lost. What is the value of talking about all these things all our life? Right? So he's saying, those who give up the topics of Vaikuntha and take to the talk of material world are thrown into the darkest region of ignorance. Now here is the reason why we are all here. For whatever reason we have given up, association of the Lord and talking about Vaikuntha and serving the Lord. So we are thrown into the region of ignorance, the darkest region of ignorance. That is why the prayer, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Right? Tamasoma, tamas means darkness. Jyotirgamaya, please take me towards light. I am in the world of darkness. Prabhupada says we are all so lucky there is sun, or else we would be in darkness forever. Right? Even in the night when the sunlight is not there, it is dark. So this is a place of darkness. Luckily there is sun and there is some electricity where there is some light, but otherwise, we are all stuck in this region. So like this, there are so many descriptions of Vaikuntha, and in the interest of time, I'll stop here. I'll request the devotees to hand over the beads. So the reason talking about this little bit today is to create an impetus in all of us to create a desire to go to that Vaikuntha. Just like when we were in India or some other places, the roads were not good, infrastructure is not good, facilities are not good. It created an impetus for us to come to America, better standard of living. So in the same way, now we should see that there is even better place, which is the spiritual world, and that is the real place where we all belong to. You work hard and somehow you came to America, what is the guarantee next life will be here? This life itself, what is the guarantee the standard of life will be the same? And every day you're saying China, US, there is war, third world war is coming soon. One or two properly placed weapons attacks can destroy our total life, our standard of living as we are existing. So we are living in such a precarious condition. So we should all create the desire to go to the spiritual world. And Krishna is giving a simple, easy formula. All we have to do is Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Know about his birth, know about his activities, and When we know about Krishna's activities, we have to understand why Krishna is performing some so and so activities. And the main reason Krishna is performing all these things, speaking Bhagavad Gita, is to help us come back to the spiritual world. Again and again he's saying, I want to solve your root of the problem, Punarjanma. And the simplest way is understanding Krishna's instructions, and following those instructions. And we're distributing the beats. One of the main instruction of Krishna is Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto. He says, always think of me and become my devotee. Majjaji Mam Namaskuru. You worship me and you pay obeisances to me. Mamaivasya Satyam Te Pratijani Priyosime. You will definitely come to me. Again, he has told something which will make us go to him, to the spiritual world, what we talked about, right? So the easiest way of Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto, always think of him, is it's all in your hands. Little in your hands, the beads, right? You chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada says the moment you say Krishna, you will remember Krishna, right? If I say Mr. Modi, you all already remembered Modi, right? Or I say, sorry, Trump, you will remember Trump. So like this, when we say Krishna, we should remember Krishna. And when we're remembering Krishna, what happens? Our heart gets purified, our consciousness gets cleansed, and at the end of life, Ante Narayana Smriti. That is the ultimate aim of life. At the end of life, we should not be thinking about this country, or this bank balance, or this property, or that property. We should be thinking about Narayana. Ante Narayana Smriti. That is the success of life. So if you chant Hare Krishna, one fine day we will come to the point where we will be completely purified, and at the time of death, we will think of Krishna and we will go back to the Krishna Loka. Right? So we'll all chant the Hare Krishna mantra together. So before we start, we will chant the Guru Pranam mantra and Panchatattva mantra, and then we'll all chant the Hare Krishna mantra together. And as I said, yeah. So while we are chanting, the most important thing is to remember Krishna. How do we remember? Prabhupada says, this chanting is a prayer to Krishna. Hare means, O Radharani. Krishna means, O Krishna, please engage me in your service. Please help me come back to you. Please help me reinstate my original position as your servant in the spiritual world. Right? So we should know we are praying to Krishna. So in a prayerful mood, we should pray to Krishna, and then our chanting will be successful. Yes. Yeah, quick announcements for newcomers. Anybody come for the first time? We see there is a small booth next to the Prabhupada altar. The devotees are willing to give you a nice gift, and you can sign up for some temple updates. So any newcomers, please make sure you visit them. So we'll all chant now. So please repeat after me. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we'll all chant together now, and we should all chant prayerfully, okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram